Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Duels with our Esper control deck. So I've made a single change since the previous video. I have cut out the Noxious Gear Hulk and gone with a Sire of Stagnation, just to see if it works. So it's a 4 blue black 5/7 creature. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player exiles the top 2 cards of her library, his or her library, sorry, and you draw 2 cards. So it may or may not be that useful, because we're already on turn 6, so if they've been hitting all their land drops, then they're likely to not need to play any more lands by this point. But if they do, then we get to draw extra cards, which is card advantage for a control deck, which is your opponent's worst nightmare, essentially. So as long as Sire of Stagnation's here, he's essentially either baiting out removal and trying to attempt to tap out to do that kind of stuff, or he's just going to keep playing lands and letting us draw lots of cards, which is more removal for us and more counter spells and all that jazz. And he's also 5/7, so it goes off pretty well. Alright, let's test it out. I'll see you in the games. Okay, we're in. We are on the play. We have nearly all of our cards are black and not a single black mana, so we'll throw it back. Ooh, we have a turn 3 Liliana. We've got the mana to get to Linvala, but there's no blue mana. I think we can still take this though, just based off the Liliana. Depends on what our opponent's playing. I'm hoping they're going aggressive. I usually see this avatar for aggressive decks. Our opponent, by the way, rank 33, called Revenant Remnant. Ether Hub into Toolcraft Exemplar. Okay. Liliana's going to be great with you, because you only get +2/+1 on your combat phase, so you're going to be a 1/1 when Liliana is doing her thing, so it's all good. And an Archangel Avacyn, we have the mana to cast you, so that's pretty sweet. Okay, so this might be red-white vehicles, or at least red-white artifacts. Yeah, it looks like red-white vehicles. Okay. Yeah, again, another target for us that Liliana can take out, which is awesome. I think what I'd end up doing, there isn't a great way to do this. I'm probably going to +1 Liliana on the Speedway Fanatic, just because you give haste to your vehicles. Ooh, blue sauce, that's pretty good. We're getting closer to our counter spells. I think we will indeed play our island here. So if I take this out, the worst that's going to happen is the Exemplar is going to be a 3/2. And he's going to be able to take Liliana down to 1, but then we +1 and kill it then, and he's got no creatures for his vehicles. So I think that's the better way to go about it. So we'll +1, kill his Fanatic. Space damage as well is also better than the Exemplars. He's got to do a little bit of setup before this guy's cool and good. So probably expect to see a artifact of some sort. No, instead we see a Deparler. Okay. That is actually a problem. Yeah. Deparler provides +1/+1 to all dwarves and vehicles, which does mean that the Exemplar is now out of Liliana's range and is set up to die. If we play Isolated Chapel, we can actually keep Liliana safe here, because we need the white source to animate the Shambling Vent, which will be a 2/3, which will block the Exemplar, and then the Liliana's going to plus on Deparler to make her a 1/2, which will keep her alive. Then it'll only negate the +1 that we've just done on our Liliana. So that's what we're going to do, I think. +1 there. And pass the turn, holding up Shambling Vents. Next turn we get to Archangel Avacyn to keep Liliana safe as well. And hopefully kill Deparler in the process, which will allow us to take down the Exemplar. Yeah, I expect to see some burn here, to be honest, to take down our Shambling Vent. But we'll see. So when it becomes tapped, you can pay X and reveal the top X cards and put all dwarves and vehicles into your hand. You only found a land. Really? Alright, well, I don't have much time to waste, so I'm just going to keep going with this. Should have probably actually done the Dipala there. That was a mistake on my part. But we can rectify that pretty easily with a Sunken Hollow. So now we can hold up Archangel Avison. And what I can do is I can plus on the Gear Shift Ace. She's going to take him down to a 1-1. When Archangel Avison kills Dipala, then you will get a -1/-1 debuff because of the lack of the Lord, which will actually kill both creatures. You'll still get one hit on Liliana though. But that's the plan that we're going for. I think our opponent just realised that he's going to run out of steam pretty quickly, and we clearly are not. Because we've got counter magic and lots of disruption for you. I'll let you have that. That's fine. I want to encourage you to come in and have Avison kill you. Yeah, so this is essentially potentially a blowout right here. So Avison comes down, gives herself indestructible. You can tap X. You choose to tap for nothing. Okay. We kill the Dipala. That gets -1/-1. Still does its damage though, because it is first strike. And of course, combat has to resolve all in one go. But that's 2 creatures down. Declaration in Stone for our Avison though. Which is... it's bad, but it's card advantage for us. So I'm not really that fussed. And we'll go Drowned Catacomb and plus Liliana. Means that this guy can't crew any vehicles, and he also can't deal any damage to us. And we can sack a clue and hold up a counter. So that's what we'll do. We might even just choose to awaken for 3 on our Shambling Vents, because that's been working out quite a lot for us. So we'll just see. Goes to combat. He's not animating his land, so he must have something on his second main to do. Plays a land, and the final card. This is where we blow you out of the water. Come on. It's another Dipala. Yeah, you can't have a Dipala. Why would I let you have that? So we will counter and awaken. We'll stick it on the Shambling Vent, just because we can make a... is it a 4/5? Something like that. Or a 5/6. One of those. We're going to plus on the Inventor's Apprentice. Play a Prairie Stream. Get in with our Shambling Vent. And you know what? We're not going to do that because we're going to Linvala. Just so I can keep this Needle Spires away from my Liliana. We gain 5 life. Oh, I should have done that pre-combat. I'm such a silly. Alright, well, we get a 5/5. That was silly. I got the ordering all wrong there. We should have done that before attackers because I was on 19 and he was on 20. I would have got him 5 life that way. But, yeah, it keeps his Needle Spires from killing our Liliana, which is all we really want. Telling time. Sweet. Well, I'm going to play a land. We're going to Telling Time right now, because we can. And I might want to draw into the other card. Well, we're taking Grasp of Darkness here, and Planar Outburst, since we've already got a land in our hand anyway. And swing in with the Linvala on in the air, I think. No possible blocks. Plus our Liliana. Make sure you can't do anything of interest. And we've got Grasp of Darkness and our Clue to get the Planar Outburst off the top of our deck. Or even an activation with Shambling Vent, which is just going to shut down any attacks that he might have. Thopter Engineer. That does give artifacts haste, if I choose to allow it to. Okay, what's the last card in your hand? Probably not going to find out. Yeah. So, Thopter likely coming in to take off Liliana. I guess. Unless he wants to leave it back to block the Linvala, which is also a good plan. Yeah. Liliana's just going to kill the Slop Throw off on our turn anyway, so I'm just happy to let him get that little bit of damage in. Alright. And ends his turn. We are going to do that. I might as well Grasp of Darkness something right now, I guess. We're about to close off the game anyway, so... Glimmer of Genius. Cool. Right, +1. Take out the Thopter. Play a land. Play a Glimmer, just in case we've got removal for this guy. Jason, Gearhulk, I'll take absolutely both of them. Without a doubt. Let's... Ooh, right, so... Holding back Shambling Vent keeps... Well, actually, Liliana survives a Needle Spire's attack. So, never mind. We're just going to animate both of them. Force a block with the... Nerd Ape. Get him for 10 here. He doesn't have to block, but he would. Yeah. So, there he goes. We gain 5 life. There's just no way our opponent's getting back from this. I think that's why our opponent scooped so early. Because they knew it. But Needle Spires can take Liliana down to 1. Any blockers he makes from that point on won't do anything. What have we got in our graveyard? We've got Grasp, so we can flash in Gearhulk and kill the Apprentice, so he has no blockers. Yeah, that's just game. Alright. Sweet. We can even just Jace minus to bounce the Inventor's Apprentice as well. So we've got lethal on the board. He's empty-handed. So it's whichever one we want to go through. And I guess just the quickest way is just to Jace and minus. So land, Jace. And minus, bounce that back to your hand. Get some lifelink, because why not? Our opponent's not here. And get him for 10. Sweet. Yeah, a few misplays there, but it didn't end up mattering. But I pretty much spotted most of them as soon as I did them, because I was not thinking too much. But yeah, alright, on to the next game. Okay, 4-land hand with board wipe mana, removal and counter spells. We have all the mana to cast everything in our hand. What could be better? Let's go with the Shambling Vents. And past the turn, our opponent is rank 35 called RB6 Vince. Is that Rainbow 6? Maybe. Who knows? White Weenie, by the looks of it. Expedition Envoy on turn 1 is usually a good indicator, which makes this Languish absolutely glorious. Alright, so let's set it up in such a way that we are ready for that. It looks like Prairie Stream's the best one, because Prairie Stream allows Drowned Catacomb to come into play untapped thanks to it being an island, and we've got Swamp, which gets us to our 4th mana. So, yeah, let's do that. Cool. We could hold up Blessed Alliance to take down the Expedition Envoy, but it's really not necessary. I'd rather encourage our opponent to get as much out on the board as possible. And a Selfless Spirit. Okay, that does not help with Languish, which is yet again good for us. So next turn we get to hold up the Scatter to the Winds if we don't like what we see. I'm going to take the really risky play though and allow him to keep on hitting us with his cards. Hopefully he is foolish enough to overextend, and in which case we'll punish him for it. Otherwise we may not. So anything that gets one of his creatures out of Languish range, I'll probably counter here. I'm just going to Blessed Alliance, make you sacrifice one of them though. So we're only taking 2 here. Hopefully he plays out a couple of creatures. There's Anointer of Champions. And another one. Go on, another one. Oh, beautiful. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Alright, so they're all dead. He's got 2 cards in hand. We've got a counter spell. Unfortunately, we have more lands than I would hope for. And a Sire of Stagnation is not too bad. Not too bad at all. So, Languish kills everything. He's got 2 cards in hand. And he's done. Yeah. That's why you don't overextend. But, yeah, those decks really want to kill you on, like, turn 4. So... that's annoying. We don't have counter magic down for that. If only you knew that he could absolutely probably even pull the game out just with Gideon alone right here. But he decided to skip out anyway. We'll play a Swamp and we will pass the turn holding up Shambling Vent. Next turn we get Sire of Stagnation, which will block Gideon quite nicely. It'll also stop him from playing lands, though he is... If he's playing good White Weenie, he's at the top of his curve already. So, we'll see. He did not make a token... there we are. He didn't make a token or get in with Gideon there, which I found very strange. Okay, and we are going to... Have we got basics open? We do. Alright, Sire of Stagnation. So, we've got a 5/7 that blocks Gideon quite nicely. If he plays a land, we draw 2 cards. So he needs good removal for this, but he does have things like Reprisal and Declaration in Stone, and there's a fair few things that hit the Styre, obviously, but if we get to untap, we get to keep it safe, which is just going to mean that he ends up filling up his hand with lands because he won't want to cast them. So he's trying to go wide with his tokens here. And a Thalia, creatures and non-basic lands your opponent controls enter the battlefield tapped. I'm going to try and remember that Thalia is on the battlefield right now, because I keep forgetting that. And a Murder. I might not have to. Alright, well, we'll just play Plains here. Pass the turn. What we could do is attack into his Gideon. If he tries to block all the way through to try kill our Sire, we can murder one of them, and we still get to hold up counter spells, so I think that's fine. If he doesn't block at all, then he just loses it. So there's a multiple block here that he might think is worthwhile, and indeed he does think it's worthwhile, but it's not. So we're just going to take out his tokens, and then kill his Thalia with our Murder. Which means we get to kill a Thalia and 2 tokens. We get to hold up a Shambling Vent for his other token if he chooses to make one, and we also have a counter spell. So, do you want to play a land? Do it. Dare you. He's making another token. I'm not sure why he isn't plussing to get in with his Gideon. It is an AI, so not everything it does makes sense. But still, you would think that there's no real reason why you should be that afraid. Well, we are going to Isolated Chapel. And if we activate Shambling Vents here, we still hold up our counterspell. We attack into Gideon with both of our creatures. He can't double block the Shambling Vent without losing his Gideon. And we could take it down to 2 if we want to do that, which stops him from ultimating and getting his Anthem ultimate. Yeah. Does mean we can't awaken our Scatter to the Winds, but I don't think it's that important right now, to be honest. So attack him with everything on Gideon. Even a double block on the Sire does nothing. Long Road Home. Exile target creature at the beginning of the next step. Return that card to the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. And another one. You give him my land. A counter. Alright. Well, we get both of them back on our end step with counters. I don't know if the Shambling Vent gets a counter, actually. I think it does. Just because it, yeah. I wasn't sure because it doesn't, it enters the battlefield as not a creature, and I wasn't sure if that was relevant or not. Yeah. Yeah, anything can come back with a counter. Alright, he's making another ally token. Sure. And we get an Anguished Unmaking. Okay, right, well, our creatures are just going at your face now. Officially. So, let's tap it. I've noticed as well, in the last episode we were tapping for 4 mana. We're tapping for 3 now. Don't understand why. Let's see, we can't actually attack him with our Shambling Vent. Unless we're going in at the Gideon. But what's the point in doing that if we've got Anguished Unmaking? Yeah, I wasted 3 mana there. I don't think I actually want to do that. Maybe I would just want... No, because he's just going to keep making ally tokens, so I do want to Anguished Unmaking his Gideon. Yeah, I shouldn't have activated it there. I didn't finish my train of thought on that one, unfortunately. Okay. 6 damage in. Anguished Unmaking before he gets to make any more tokens. We do lose 3 life, but he loses probably the only Planeswalker that you're ever worried about in white. One of the few things worth using an Anguished Unmaking on anyway. Selfless Spirit to give all of his creatures indestructible. That's something to keep in mind. Yeah, this is kind of why I wasn't entirely certain on Sire of Stagnation. Just because by the time it's come down, our opponent's at the land count where they don't really need to play lands anymore. If it was like Landfall when it used to be really popular, then you pretty much just shut down their entire archetype by playing this guy. This is of course an exception because White Weenie is one of the lowest. Ooh. If you want to fetch a land, that'd be good with me. Probably not though. You do! Alright, we get to draw 2 cards. I do not approve of that play. And we get a Liliana. Alright, this is just over now. Oh yeah, Liliana kills the Selfless Spirit. Skadoosh. We've got Grasp of Darkness open. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Oh, why did I do that? Wow. Okay, well, on that note, I guess I'm just going to... gotta pass the turn, I guess. I want to keep my Liliana alive. And you're probably just going to block and sack and give it indestructible. God damn it. Pay attention. Come in with all your stuff. Go on. And there you. We've got a counter for any pump spells they may have. We've got life gain right here. So we get to block twice. We get to kill another one. You're going at... Actually, if you're not actually completely going at me, then there's no reason for me to use my Grasp of Darkness, because Liliana was supposed to have already killed you. But I was silly, and I didn't. It shouldn't make a difference, because I'm just going to kill it this time anyway. And we get a Planar Outburst. Alright. Very slowly. Make absolutely certain I want to kill the thing that I'm killing. There we go. Right, we can get him for 6. 7, 8, 9. right now. He probably wants to block, and in which case there's only a 2/2 ally left. And anything that might kill us or Liliana, we've got counters and removal open for it. So let's just attack him with everything. 4/9. Not blocking. Okay. Well, grasp for whichever. If they both come at Liliana, then we grasp one of them. Liliana lives. If they have pump, scatter takes care of that. Play me another land. Go on. Dare you. Alright, where are you going? If this doesn't work out for them as well, we just kill them on the swing back. Sure, I'm not even going to remove any of that. So Liliana goes down to 1. And you pass the turn. Alright, I think that's just a game's concession of defeat there. So, animate our Shambling Vent. If they've got Avacyn, which is what this kind of suggests, we just have Grasp of Darkness to take care of it, and Anguished Unmaking. So, it's not a problem. I'm just going to plus Liliana just in case. And swing in. Do we see an Avacyn here? We do not. Alright, we win. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. Apologies for some of the misplays. They didn't end up mattering, but I shouldn't have made them anyway. It's just a bit groggy at the moment, so yeah, I'm putting it down to that. I'm blaming it on something else, god damn it. But anyway, if you did enjoy the content, then be sure to leave a like. It helps me out a great deal, lets me know you're enjoying the series. And subscribe if you haven't already for more Magic Duels content in the future, as well as other stuff. And if you're not sure what that is, then stay for the end card. See the rest of it, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.